Hey guys, Norm with Bearable Traders. Quick recap for today. I've got 4 trades I'm going to show, so I'm going to go through them a little quickly. If you have any questions, you can ask them in below, and I'll keep an eye out and answer as best I can. First trade out of the gate was ROKU. ROKU was really strong yesterday. It actually ran up above yesterday's close in the pre-market. I thought there might be some profit taking. This kind of resembled a fallen angel that we used to teach. Fallen angel is really a low float strategy, but sometimes you catch something similar on larger floats. So it sold off, and I noticed on the 5-minute chart, the 50 moving average on the first 5 minutes, it bounced up, had this wick below. So it gave me a nice entry right at that to take a bounce off of it at 48.09. My stop was low of day, which at the time was 47.91. So, 18 cents, 19 cents stop. Not bad at all. And I was looking to try to get the high of day if at all possible. So, anyway, high of day at that point was 48.84-ish and easily a 2-to-1. So I went ahead and took it, ran through VWAP quickly, popped through high of day, took my first partial there. I also had this daily level, 49.19. It was actually high of pre-market, you can see right there. So I took profit here. Had another pullback. It would still look strong to me. So I added to my position here just a little bit more, not a full 100% of the size again, but added a little bit more, hit this 49.19 again, took a pretty decent chunk off there. I actually tried to add a small piece of it back to it because I thought we were going to make one more run at it. Andrew was trading this at the time as well. It did not go up at that point. See, this decreasing volume when it came down is what made me think it was going to go back up. So I got out the average. I got out above my break-even average on all those. So that was a nice start to the day. Probably shouldn't have done the second ad, but oh well, it didn't hurt me. And then my second trade was NVDA. NVIDIA's been running nicely recently, and I've been trading it a little bit. So it's been really strong the last few days. I went ahead and took it. I saw this. It looked toppy to me up here. Volume started to die off just a little bit. So I went ahead. There's this, what is it, yesterday's high that I was trying to use to my advantage. Now, NVIDIA can move a lot, so averaging down, averaging up on a short position is a cardinal sin of day trading. I took a tiny size here with knowledge that I might add to it if it gave me a pullback a little bit. I didn't know if it was going to continue running. So this was actually the biggest I was planning on taking was 1/3 of what I usually do on NVIDIA. So that was actually half of that, or 1/6 of a full position for me. I added to it just like I planned on doing. My stop would have been high of day up here. And then my first exit was VWAP. And then I took some on the 15-minute chart. You can see over here the 20 moving average. I got out the rest at break even. So that was a nice little trade too. Not a whole lot of shares on it, so not the biggest trade of the day. Then here is, I'm gonna save Etsy for last. Intel was a little bit later in the day. Had this top up here. To me, so it hit this high of day. It hit the high. Sorry. Hit the high of day at this point, and I had this level on my chart. These levels are magic. 50.70 is the level I had. So it wicked right above this. It came down, tested this moving average. I saw it come back up. I noticed this big volume on the red bar here. It was bigger than these white bars. So I went ahead and gave it a chance and went short here. My stop, and that was at 50.59. High of day, 50.72 was my stop, so 13 cents, not bad at all. My first profit target was VWAP, down there around 50.20 at the time, 50.17. So easily another 2-to-1. Took it short, wrote it down. It sat here. It stalled out for a few minutes. I know Peter in the room commented that it looked strange right here. I think it was just a consolidation pattern, trying to see if it was going to go back up before it got a moving average cross here. Went ahead, ran down, and Took my first profit at VWAP. As I mentioned, that was my target at 50.20-ish, 50.17, I believe this was. Sorry, this one was 50.20-ish, and then I took my second at 50 at the whole number. I actually set limit orders on these just to save a few cents on commission, whatever. Plus, in case it went down and popped back up, I had a sell order at 49.68, which was where the moving average was. The time on the 2-minute chart, it got within 1 cent, didn't fill, so I had this left. This would look like a reversal to me. I wasn't going to chance it. I went ahead and took the rest off there, 49.94-ish. Then I'm going to go back to Etsy. So Etsy to me looked like it had a rounded top and hit high of day right here. Similar to Intel a moment ago. High of day, tested this moving average, came back up, failed to make a new high. I took it short right here at 60.03 high. So on Etsy, I took a small size on it because I wasn't sure. This had run big today. It was up 10% this morning in this straight line. Hit high a day. Tried to make a new high here, failed. I went ahead and took it short at 60.03. High of day was 60.58. I put my stop at 60.60. I took a really small size because I knew that that was going to be a long way away, but this had the potential. I thought it might come all the way back down or close to it. So put that on there, and this thing was just creeping along. Came back up. It worried me for a second right there. It came at 60.49, almost, within 10, 20 cents of my stop. And then it started creeping down. And I was talking in the room how boring this was. It was terrible. There was no action. So I went and then traded Intel that I already recapped. And I wrapped up my day. Spoke to some people on the mic and went outside and was doing some projects. And Robert H. took this trade. His entry was within a few cents of mine. And we were talking about how boring it was. He sent me a chart of this. So this ended up 60.03. It ended up making a $5 move. Like I said, I didn't take a big size. It was only 100 shares. So it was, it wouldn't have made anybody rich, but it would have been a really great trade. And I'm just frustrated. It never hit my break even. I should have really, if I wanted to get out of this, I should have just put a stop in right at my break even. It would have never tested it, and then it just collapsed later in the day after this consolidation right here. So anyway, thanks for watching. Trade safe, and see you in the chat. If you have any questions, ask them below, and I will answer them for you.